The damage done by the Persians in this war has been catastrophic. The empire that once stretched from Spain to the edge of Turkey has been reduced to just a strip of land around Constantinople. But with the church and his people behind them, it is now or never. Defending themselves have only allowed the Persians to push them further and further back. They have nothing left to give up. So Heraclius decides to switch his strategy from defense to offense. If the time of the Romans is to end, it will end on their terms. They will die on their swords. He melts down any precious metal he can find in the city to fund the war, and soon every citizen becomes involved in the war effort. They all understand how serious it is, and that they're all fighting for their survival. As Sharbaraz takes Alexandria and marches down the Nile, working to cut off the food supply from Constantinople, Heraclius carefully studies Maurice's Strategicon, the manual of war and strategy written by the former emperor, and he and his men train relentlessly, day by day transforming into a well-honed fighting machine. Their numbers are small, just enough soldiers to form one last Roman legion, but they've found strength in their emperor's leadership. He tells them that they're the last defenders of Rome, and upon hearing this, they vow to fight with him to the end. Finally, 9 years after the humiliating defeat at Antioch, Heraclius makes his move. On April 4th, 622 CE, he leaves Constantinople. He turns and looks back at the city walls, realizing this may be the last time he ever sees them. He takes a deep breath, and then, holding up an icon of Christ for his soldiers to see, they set out to regain his empire or die trying. His legion is well trained, but they have no replacements or reinforcements. If he loses a single battle, it'll be the end of the Romans. He must be flawless. The fate of the empire rests on his shoulders. He marches into Anatolia, and he leads his legion into an epic battle with the army of Sharbaraz. Heraclius commands his men from the front lines, and together they fight with everything they've got. Sharbaraz is caught off guard by the dramatic improvement of the Roman troops. He loses the battle and is forced to retreat. Having finally achieved his first victory against the Persians, Heraclius quickly pushes onward. He marches on to the small town of Ganzak, where he's surprised to go head-to-head against Khosrow II himself. The Persian king had decided to personally lead an army to battle. The Persians have never controlled this much land or been this wealthy. If he can beat Heraclius here, he can keep everything they've taken and be remembered as the greatest Persian king of all time. But Heraclius will not be denied, and he smashes Khosrow's army, forcing him to retreat. After the battle, Heraclius visits one of the 3 great Zoroastrian fire temples, which was located nearby. As revenge for Jerusalem, he orders it destroyed. The Romans celebrate around the burning temple. The underdogs are fighting back! From that point on, Heraclius seems unable to lose. In February 625 CE, he launches a night raid on Sharbaraz's camp, and the general, who was naked at the time, barely escapes. At the Sarus River, when Sharbaraz's troops try to prevent the Romans from crossing the bridge, Heraclius personally leads the charge. The Romans